Ray D'Arcy Show on RTE Radio 1 with All Care Pharmacy. Expert advice to keep the whole family healthy at All Care, the largest Irish-owned pharmacy brand. The Ray D'Arcy Show on RTE Radio 1 with All Care Pharmacy. Taking care of all the help you need for healthy, glowing skin at All Care community pharmacies across Ireland.
Text 51551. The Ray D'Arcy Show on RTE Radio 1.
Or ray@rte.ie for emails. Now, every Friday we invite somebody into Studio 10 and ask them to guide us through the soundtrack to their lives. And today it's the turn of Brendan Courtney. The reason I skipped over my words there was broadcaster,
everything,
activist, fashion person. What? You know,
if people ask me what do I do, I suppose because I use social media a lot, I say broadcaster and fashion designer.
Right.
Those are the two things I feel I would do the most. But advocate when it's appropriate and when I feel the energy to use my voice if I'm in the right situation, I suppose. But look, the average person has 6 careers in their lifetime, so let's.
Is that what they're saying now?
That's what they're saying now. Yeah. Everybody's a model or a DJ actor, you know. Everybody's a, you know. So I think it's okay to label yourself. You know, I don't want to be labelled, Ray. Basically, I'm a freelance for hire. That's what I am.
Right.
Yeah.
But broadcasting and fashion designing
That's it. That seems to be what I've been doing for the last 20 years, anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Right. That's the lift there, Jamie the King's lift. We didn't mention that Jamie the King is in a wheelchair.
Oh, you didn't?
There you go.
Those boys, that just made my year. That's just incredible. And next of all, the director of Take Me to Church is sitting there. How cool was that? Like, everybody in the producers block were like, oh my God, that's the guy. How talented were those kids? I actually was just in the canteen and all their mums were there and they had the radio alive. And I was like, are they your kids? Yeah, so very, very cute.
Okay, let's go back to your childhood then. You were born to Nuala and Frank in 1971 and you were born in the Coombe.
That's right, Coombe Hospital.
Yes.
In 1970 year old.
Yeah, not just on the side of the road.
No, the Coombe. Anybody, Dublin people just say the Coombe.
Well,
was it the hospital?
People in Kildare just say the Coombe as well.
Yeah,
so,
exactly,
yeah. But you lived locally. Your family lived locally-ish?
Well, no, my family originally, my grandparents are from Dublin 8. My grandfather's from Benburb Street, which is like Stony Batter, and my grandmother is from Inchicore. And then they moved up a little further up to Inchicore, and that's where my mother's from. But my dad's from Crumlin. So my grandparents and my dad kind of inner city West Dublin, so yeah.
And how did Nuala and Frank meet?
It's funny you ask that question, because somebody asked me that recently, and because it's such a family story, and I've obviously never been there, but it's a dance hall called the McCushla, and this woman said, oh, I know that place. My parents met there. It was the dance hall in the 50s and 60s in Dublin, and all the show bands played there. So my mother was there when she was 15 and my dad was 17, and he asked her to dance, and the rest is history. Here I am.
So they were together all that time?
All that time. My mother always says, I'll go to the boring side of heaven. Yeah, they were together.
Right.
They were together since they were 15 years of age, and they met in the McCushla, and we got told that all the time. And
right.
He cycled her home and pretended he lived nearer than he did. He lived in Crumlin, and he cycled her home in the rain, and all very romantic, right. Yeah.
And when did they tie the knot, do you know?
They got married it's still there actually, and just after Dad passed away I wanted to spend Christmas there, and it doesn't open at Christmas unfortunately. It's gorgeous, had a refurb. It's the hotel across the road from Connolly Station, lots of people will know it. It was called the International, I think.
Okay.
They got married there. I think my mum was 20, just about to turn 21, and Dad was 23.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they had a long courtship in terms of
yeah. But
my mother was a career woman.
But she was 15 when they met, so
yeah.
It wouldn't have been legal for a few years.
Well, you know what, my mother tells the story, and I'm not speaking out of turn, that she was a little bit wild, and my grandmother loved my father. He was really solid, and my grandmother was like, right, he's the one. He's great. This guy he was an apprentice in the gas company, so he had potential in future, and my grandmother was desperate to get them married quickly. And actually, as my mother always says, at the time they were really in love, and they would go on weekends away, and my dad would insist that they slept in separate bedrooms because they'd been warned, and my mother would be like, she was she's 18 or 19, and so he stayed very honourable and true, and so they got married they decided it was time to get married quickly, because my grandmother was saying time to get married quickly.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the family then, how many siblings do you have?
So, lots of people know this because of those 2 documentaries, but yeah, I have a younger brother, Daniel, who was born when I was 16, and that makes him 32 now. And then Suzanne is the eldest, and Deborah, Suzanne's 5 years older than me, and Deborah's just a year and a half older than me.
Right, so that's a big gap, isn't it, between you and your younger?
Oh yeah. My mother just always say he was the only one I actually wanted, which is not literally, you know. But we were born in the 70s, so yeah, it was a different time.
But what's your first living memory?
My first living memory is being chased by a gaggle of geese through a campsite in Cork town, and I screaming, and I think I was about 2.5 or 3, and it was terrifying, and I kind of do actually, and it's, but you know, with memories, they get told so often through the family. I remember one time my sister go, "No, I think that was me," and then my mum go, "No, it was Brendan."
Right.
And there was
scary.
We could tell by the screams it was Brendan.
Right.
Yes, yeah, they just turned on me and came running after me, and obviously I'm here, I'm fine, but it was a big funny story in our family for years. That's my first memory.
And you were the youngest for a long time. For 16 years.
For
16 years.
And I actually moved out of home that year, not in protest. I moved to London for the summer. Yeah. Maybe a little bit in teenage protest. What's that? A baby? Yeah.
I'm the baby of the family. How dare you?
Yeah. No, I actually, my eldest sister was in London, and as we all did, I went to London for the summer. Yeah.
All right. So were you spoilt?
We were all spoilt. My parents, Christmas was insane, ridiculous. Christmas was just over the top every year. They would, anything you asked for you got, and that was in the 80s, you know, when that kind of wasn't the normal way. And they absolutely loved Christmas. Christmas is just still, every smell, every moment of Christmas is just joyous to me. And then Christmas Day was always rather boring. You know?
Yeah. It's the anticipation.
You just went out on your bike or whatever you got. Yeah. But my parents put such effort into Santa. I mean, ridiculous clues and hints. And my mother would spend the entire month of December, and my sister does it too, winding us up to fever pitch about Santa. I mean, it was so exciting. And Santa would come in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve, and we would get a sight of him. Like, it was unbelievable how brilliant they were about Christmas. Yeah, it was amazing.
Were you outgoing as a child?
Ferociously outgoing, yeah. I mean, they're great people. I'm from really nice young parents. They were young, and I remember meeting a friend's mother some years later and going, "Oh, your parents were always the hip young couple that would come to the parents-teacher meeting." So my parents had us very young. And so I came from this sort of vivacious, my mother's very outgoing, obviously my dad was very confident, and so I would sort of sing and dance into every room. And I was I remember in the summer project in Kingswood, where I'm from, in Tala, in 1981 maybe, so that would make me 10. And sort of looking around, looting, there was kids doing art in one room, in the school and the summer project, and then you'd all go off for day trips. And I saw there was a dance troupe being set up for the talent show, and I went and said, "I'd like to dance troupe," and they were like, "No, you're a boy, you can't." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I can. You're no good, and you're no good. I'm totally joining." So I went home sort of going, "I can't join the dance troupe," and my mother was like, "Yes, you can." So we went across, and I was the only boy in a little white suit in the dance troupe. Right. Yeah, so that was pretty confident, right? Kid. I didn't see anything wrong with that.
And ahead of its time.
A little bit, yeah.
Ahead of its time, yeah.
Dad started looking through his fingers, going, "You go for it, son." Right behind you. Yeah.
And you saw absolutely nothing out of the ordinary with that.
No. It happened in school as well. In secondary school, I was being forced to do woodwork, and I wanted to do art, and it was, different times, but the art class was full, and I was like, "Look,